Wow, pretty interesting place where we are right now in the time frame because it really looks like we've pretty much just seen this sideways rotation. You could consider this a high in the pre-market. Not the best example of a fruition, uh, but it is technically a high. I don't know. I mean, even this is a high. This is a high, but my sense is that we're really doing this sideways rotation, establishing support or attempting to establish support. We haven't seen a sharp drop or a big move higher yet. Ace of Swords and the Princess of Swords. So the high here is an important high, and we should see some pretty like um, notable like price price swings, I guess you could say. Move at least one notable price swing because what you got to have is a move off of this resistance and then back to it, or to this resistance and then off of it. One of those two combinations. Interesting. This somehow connected to today. All right, so like I was saying, sideways rotation or attempting to establish support here. It looks like we're still kind of we're doing this like sideways rotation, but now we're getting into the 10 to 11 o'clock hour, which is more sideways rotation. So my sense is that we're probably going to see a drop here, followed by a big move to the upside to a high. Oh, and look at that! Boom. I don't know if I could have timed that better. Yeah, there you go. So this should revisit a support level that we recently met. Could be right here. And then there's a move to the upside. But that might take place a little later than this hour. Like it might take place in like closer to 12. So just it's like this started just as I said we're gonna have a drop to revisit a support level, and right now we're kind of revisiting a support level right here. Doesn't necessarily mean that's where we stop, but it's a sharp dip or a drop. A dip is when it like kind of comes back, it drops and then it comes back. One of those two, but it's in a periods of sideways rotation, right? The sideways rotation has taken place. We got the sharp drop that stands out in the midst of it. That's a Queen of Discs right there. It's followed by the Sun card, which is a notable move to the upside. Sometimes it's it acts as like an indication of the beginning of a rally. I'm not so sure that's the case here. Sorry, guys. I've had a cough past couple days. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Actually, let's take a look at December. Wow. Wow, so that'd be that reversal right there. Wow. So we came close to a high. It wasn't quite a high, but we came close to a high. So the high was there on the 21st, 20th, 21st on the cusp. You can see it took place right there. Pretty close to this one. Reversal. I think that's probably the high. Like this is that means that this is probably the highest we're gonna go this month. I think we'll probably see Bitcoin's high here, like around this price levels here of like 37, 38. We'll probably see them again. Around like the 28th, 29th, 30th. And I would be mindful. There is a cross reading congruency here. November low card is the luxury card right on the 1 year. On the 2023 1 year for November, the low significator card is the luxury card. It's also a significant trough. So that might indicate that we end up in something like that tomorrow. I mean, it wouldn't be like far-fetched to see us see November lows considering like where they are. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not, but in the cards it is a possibility. Either way, we end up back at these price levels around the 28th, 29th. Big move to the upside on the cusp of the 28th, but I'd be mindful not to chase that rally there. And I also think that there's a notable reversal today. We probably end up near a peak, not as high as this high up here, probably somewhere around like 36, 37. So there'll be like a notable reversal, and then 36, 37, somewhere around there is where the peak will be towards the end of the day or the later part of today. Hey, Deduct. Happy Thanksgiving, my man. Good to see you. It's really funny. I was saying, it looks like we're still in this sideways rotation, and we're probably going to have a sharp drop. Still going to see a sharp drop, and then a big move to the upside based on the fact that we haven't seen them yet. And more so because we've got the Queen of Disc, which is a period of sideways rotation and a sharp drop in that period of sideways rotation. Anyhow, as soon as I finished saying that, this happened. Like to the second almost. We should see one last high, is my sense. One last peak or crest here. Actually, not necessarily. We might have another one, but it won't be as high. So we'll see one last, like, what'll stand out as a high for the day. Most likely it'll be a high for the day. And then we'll probably see one or two more peaks throughout the decline into the trough at the end of the day. Hey, Conrad. Yes. Should you be in longs or shorts? Yes. You feel me? It's the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords with the Princess of Swords at the high. Both of these indicate a resistance level of importance, that there's a lot of price change involved around that resistance. And what's important about that price change is that the type of chart behavior that takes place allows for you to trade both directions one at a time. So like first in one direction and then in the other direction, right? And usually the resistance level acts as like a good price level marker for entry or exit points of some kind. You got it, my man. Good to see you. Or read you. So, but I guess the big trade, guys, that I would be positioning or preparing myself to position for is going to be probably a partial short on the 24th, continue adding to that short on the 27th, maybe even a little bit on the 28th, but that's probably pushing it, probably too late by then. Yeah. And then I probably want to hold that short. Well, you could close out of the short right here on the 30th, probably the safest bet. And then here in the midst of a fast sudden move higher on the, what is that, the first? On the 1st of December, in the midst of a fast sudden move higher, you might add another, like, start another partial short here. If you get another opportunity around the 4th or 5th, add to it. Otherwise, just wait to close out of it here on the 6th. But I mean, you would already know that, guys, if you were on the mailing list, the free mailing list on our website. You just go to Tarot for Traders on our homepage, scroll all the way to the bottom, free mailing list, sign up for the newsletter, and receive the S&P 500 monthly newsletter every month. It's the earliest you can get it for free. If you want it earlier than that, you got to go to Esometa Posts under our services and sign up for early access to our posts. Right, so we're probably going to see this turnaround take place here. Yikes. That is a lot of gaps to cover. Yikes, yikes, yikes. One, two, three. And what's interesting about them, if you didn't catch this on the last live, what's interesting about these gaps is all three of these gaps here, right? There's one here. There's one here. There's one here. Right? All three of those gaps have a unicursal hexagram within close time proximity to it, or within close price level proximity to it. All right, Conrad, later. So the trade here midday looks like it has to do with this pop and drop, right? There's this move higher, prominent move higher that'll stand out around noontime. It's followed by a full retracement of that move back down. And then there's some back and forth going on, like a sideways S formation within a channel. So what I mean by that is a decline, an incline, and a decline. You decline from resistance to support, reverse go all the way back to that resistance, reverse go all the way back to that support. You're making a sideways S formation within a channel there. So some back and forth really going on here between noon and 2. And there's definitely a trade opportunity in there based on that, especially with the channel. And then it's also important, like I said, there's most likely a trough here at the end of the day. But we do want to keep in mind that these yellow translucent highlights, they correlate to the strength card, which is out of a decline, a big move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range. We do have a high and low correlation here at the end of the day, so there could be some like real back and forth going on in this oppression card here. Between like 3 and 4-ish. All right, and so we visited this support here, or revisited this support in the midst of a drop, right? And now we have this turnaround that we're coming back to the upside. This should take us right to a high, guys. This move to the upside. So if you wanted to scalp this, you probably a good place to scalp. It might be a little late now, but you could probably hop in for a day trade scalp. looks like another opportunity to get in on a scalp there. A bullish scalp, to be clear. All right, so just a real quick recap. There's going to be a move here to a high somewhere around like 11 to 12. And then we should have like this move, prominent move higher, followed by a full retracement and move back down, and then go into like a back and forth behavior within a channel there between 1 and 2. There's a trade in there in the midst of that back and forth behavior. I probably look for the high, open up a short, and close it in the midst of a trough or a low. And if there isn't a trough or a low here towards the 1 to 2 o'clock hour, then I would wait to see one in the towards the end of the day, because we've got this high and the slow significator, or high and low correlation, I should say, there. We'll probably see the low before the high if we do see a high here at the end of the day. And with that said, guys, I'm going to roll. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. You do that here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, where we ask that everybody who's profiting from this information follow the channel's rule of karma. It's the unwritten agreement between the universe and anybody profiting from this information. You must follow this rule of karma to continue profiting, otherwise the universe will shut off the flow of abundance through this channel. So 5% of the profits from each trade should be donated here forward to one of these charities. 5% of the profits should be donated back to the channel here through one of these links. Leaves you at 90%, way more than a stockbroker would leave you with. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you follow those rules, makes you an angel investor. The channel, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel. Like I said, neglect to follow through on that, and the universe will neglect to follow through on its end of the deal. Blessings, my friends. I'll see you guys around 3 o'clock.